by my count, I think y'all have 18 early enrollee freshmen already here. I wonder if any of those guys have stood out in workouts so far. What you think about that group?
Yeah, I like the group. They blue collar, hard working kids. I've really been impressed with those guys. You know, I think Marion Harris and Chamblay, I think, and Henderson, I think Cody hit the jackpot with that group. I mean, I really, really like them. To be honest with you, Crook has been as impressive as you can be for a young guy, hardworking kid. Henley, JJ Hollingsworth worked hard. I mean, I can go on. I like the two DBs that we have in with Lewis and Brown, and so there's a lot of guys. I'm sure I'm missing them, but I tell you what, Rashad Dominion has been really good. Quincy, he's hurt a little bit. McAdoo's had a little knee surgery, not lengthy, but probably will miss the first week of spring ball. And I'm sorry I'm missing guys, you know, but I'm looking up on my board right now to try to make sure that I don't leave anybody out that certainly is deserving, because they've come and done a nice job. Manny Powell, you know, is hurt coming off of surgery, and so we haven't seen quite as much as certainly we want to there in the DBs, and we talked about the other guys. So I think so as far as the freshmen go, we've been really, really pleased with them.
And then also you mentioned the injuries there to a couple of guys. I wonder about Jalen Catalan and KJ Jefferson, how they're doing and their recoveries, and would they be limited at all in spring, or is there anybody else that might be limited?
I don't look for KJ to be limited at all, nor Catalan for that matter. Those two guys, no, I don't think so. Now we've got a few guys that will be, but those two certainly not. I think Landon Jackson will be a limit. You know, he'll be limited coming off an injury. But I think that, you know, we've got some guys that, you know, had some off-season surgery, Dominic Johnson and things like that, but that won't be able to participate yet. I think he'd do something maybe in the late summer.
Otis?
Yeah, Sam. Hey, can you talk about the 5 transfers that enrolled at midterm, and kind of where your plans are, like Drew Sanders, the kid from Georgia, Brenny, just which positions are they going to play, and just talk about each of the 5 just briefly if you can.
Well, Drew's been done great. Michael will, you know, depending bump, pull, you know, Mike or will, but I think he's going to be a really good player for us, what we've seen athletic ability-wise. Landon Jackson, we haven't quite got to see quite as much from him, certainly just because of the injury. Nudie, Dwight McLaughlin, he's done well. He'll play corner for us. Brainy, I think Brainy is going to be maybe a combination player of maybe a weak side safety nickel. I think in his recruiting, I think he wanted to play both, and we certainly will look at him at both positions. Jaden Hazelwood has done well. He's healthy, is moving well. I don't know if is that the last one that came in? That was 5.
That was all of them, Sam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Sam, I'm wondering if you could talk about how the 2 new assistants you've got, Bowman and Deke, have fit in, and a second part of that, retaining your coordinators and Dowell, who people had interest in. If you could talk to that.
Yeah, that's a good question, Tom. I'm really pleased with Deke and certainly with Dominic Bowman. Both of them are, you know, let's face the facts. On this staff, you have to recruit, and if you're not an elite recruiter, that's that's not a good thing. And both of them have done an outstanding job recruiting, being personable with their guys. I think you can ask the D-line and the secondary how they've enjoyed the new guys, and I think it'll speak for itself. It's a big deal to me that we're able to maintain the people that are in front of the most players. I mean, and I'm not telling you that, Mike Shear's not valuable. I'm not saying that because, man, he can recruit and coach. But when you retain your coordinators, which, I think is very publicized, that Kendall Browse had the opportunity to leave, and Barry does every single year, to maintain those guys, I think is a big, big deal that talks about they can't leave something, whether it's the state of Arkansas, the players, the camaraderie we have on our staff, but big time loyalty, because for the most part, they're staying for less financial money, which a lot of people would not. Dow Loggins fits in that category. Obviously, Cody Kennedy fits in that category. We've had a whole lot of guys because of the team's success. We've had a whole lot of guys get job opportunities, and they're still here. So very, very happy, pleased to do that. I've seen too many programs that go south by losing one or the other coordinator or all three coordinators, whatever it may be. And it's a big, big deal for myself and our team that we keep the guys that are in front of the most people. And very, very honored that Dow stayed with us as well.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm at the baseball game, so it might be a little loud here. But on the field, do you have points of emphasis, things that you really want to emphasize during spring, areas that you want to get better in?
Yeah, we have several of them. Just to tell you, offensively, we've got to be a better short yardage team. That's going to be a big deal with us. On both sides of the ball, we've got to do better, which we did, but we have to do better on third down. Big emphasis on first down on offense. What we're doing, I'm trying to do some analytic stuff myself. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm trying to. I don't know if I'll ever go for it on my own 18-yard line on fourth down, but I'm at least looking at why and things of that nature. Defensively, we believe that we've got to put more pressure. We believe that last year in first down, we've got to get, the opposing offense behind the sticks. And we did a better job last year than we did the year before, but we've got to bring at least singles more. I think maybe a little more towards what we were doing in the bowl game latter part of last year, where we were blitzing a little bit more. And with that, certainly you have to be better at corner, but those are some of the things there. And then we got to figure out, we've talked about it on the punt team. I think we did a fine job on the punt team, but we had to learn too many lessons. We want to fix that before, Georgia blocks a punt on us, and certainly Rice did as well.
And then I might circle back later, but then you're on the brink maybe of renewing your contract. I just wonder how those negotiations are going on renewing and, whatever winds up happening there.
What'd you say, buddy? I know you was talking about my contract,
Yeah,
a contract. Somebody's.
I did, yeah. So you're on the brink maybe of renewing or, re-upping. Just your thoughts about that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping to get it done sooner than later, but that's something you'll have to ask Hunter, but I think I hope, and I think we're much closer than we've ever been. So I don't know. Okay.
Hey, Coach. Just
Right.
telling me my internet's unstable, so I hope everything's coming through clear. I was curious, last year it seemed like Zach Williams was the guy that really made this huge leap forward in terms of, physical and stuff during the training cycle. I was wondering if there's anybody this year that you would point to and say that guy has really transformed himself.
Yeah, on the D line, I think we'll see some good things out of Cam Ball. Certainly we didn't see him last year. I really like how Eric Gregory's moving right now. I'm just talking about the D line, those two guys. I think we'll see Eric Thomas. He looks good. He's running well. I think there's guys there that'll help us. Paul, his role is going to, hopefully it'll move up. We're counting on him too. He's looked well in that group. I've already talked about Crook because he's stood out big time. Hopefully we can get some plays out of him as a true freshman. Slusher will have to continue to improve, which he has. Jaden Johnson's another guy. At corner, the guys look well as good as Kyrie Johnson. So hopefully he can. Some guys it takes a little longer than others, but hopefully he'll continue to improve. I think he will. I tell you, on the offensive line, there's two guys that. At least two guys. Well, three. Let's talk about three. Marcus Henderson, we moved him to center. He's really caught on to that. I think that's his spot. It's a really good job by Cody. And then the two guys that have really stood out. Now, we know about the other fellas, but Devin Manuel has lost a lot of weight, and Devin Manuel can be a really good player for us. And Tykees Crawford has changed his body, changed his work ethic, changed everything. So I think he's going to be a really good player. Cody's got a really strong, in my opinion, offensive line room over there. Trey Knox has gained up to 240 pounds now. I didn't talk about, I think I did, Binion. I think he's looked really good. And then at wide receiver, we talked about Hazelwood. I think Wilson and Stevens are going to, and Ketron Jackson's looked really good, Trey. And at the quarterback position, we haven't thrown yet or anything like that, but Malik Hornsby has come back with much more confidence. You can just the way he's working, he's gained some weight. So that's probably it. Little Cam is doing good, and we've added, Jacob Bates over there in that room, and so I think we'll have battles everywhere. It's great. It's a lot. I'm so excited about spring ball because I think we got a lot of legit battles out there, and maybe we didn't have that in the past like we do now.
You guys return a lot on the offensive line, a lot of 4 starters from last year, including some guys that played some. But left tackle with Cunningham leaving, who do you expect to trot out there first? What does that battle look like?
Well, we've been working actually 2 with a third being Tykees, but we got Tykees over Crawford over to the right side. But Luke Jones is a guy that we've moved out there, and Devin Manuel. So I'm assuming those two guys will fight it out, and it just depends on how fast the freshmen get ready as well, because Chamblee and Harris are really very, very, very talented. But that's Luke Jones and Devin Manuel will be probably today will be where that battle goes. And if Tykees continues to do what he's doing, we'll put him over there or inside. He's done a great job. So that, to answer your question, Jones and Manuel right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Jason. Hey, Coach. Drew Sanders, does he look like a day 1 starter?
He looks like it. Yes. I mean, he can run. He's big. He hadn't hit anybody yet, but he did at his other school. And yeah, he looks good.
And also with Manny Powell, have you seen him yet?
Yes. I mean, he's been in the weight room, things of that nature, had a surgery. So we haven't seen him as much. I'm talking about, we see him every day, but I'm talking about agilities and things of that, and get out and run and things of that. We certainly haven't had the opportunity to see that yet because of the injury. He looks really good, though.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. You mentioned Manuel and dropping a few pounds. Where is he at now? And maybe Crawford too. And you talked about how they look and what makes you say they look better physically? I mean, their stature.
Well, they're stronger. They've got more muscle tone. Devin, I think maybe down to 366. So he probably lost 25 pounds since he's been here. And then Tykese Crawford, what's he, Coach? Tykese looks really good, huh? 347. So he's probably down another 20 pounds. Probably.
Can they play at those weights the way they move now?
Yeah, I believe so. Devin's still got to lose some. I like Tykese where he's at. He's moving extremely well. And this, that, no. Dev is still trying to lose some and needs to. Maybe we can get him down about 350.
Does that make you more physical to put those kind of guys in there?
If they have feet, if they have feet and twitch. If they don't, I mean, you can have a car in there, but if you don't have any gas in it, you can't move anybody. And so if they have feet and quick twitch, the bigger the better. That's been my philosophy.
But I mean, do you see that in them?
Yes. I mean, that's the thing that probably stood out more about Tykese Crawford is his foot speed, in that 350 pounds or 47 pounds. He's going to demonstrate power. And Devin Manuel's the same way. Devin's a really good athlete. He was a good basketball player in high school. He just was, 385, 90 pounds last year.
Where do you see, and this will be last for me, the growth in your offensive line, year 1, year 2, and then maybe year 3? Where could you be, and how can that change your team?
Well, I hope it's one of the better ones in the SEC. We have, like you said, we have experience coming back. We've got the middleman in Stromberg, who, again, he looks better. He's changed his body tone, gotten stronger. But anytime you have a middle guy in there and you have 2 tackles that are good players, and we've still got to find the left one, but we truly believe that we've got them on campus. But I think their camaraderie, I think our depth is going to be much better. I think we can develop about 4 good centers would be, and because you need them all, and have those 4 being on the travel team, top 10. I think that part of it, I think Cody's done a nice job of trying to figure out that, because it's 2 guys that get the ball every time. That's a center and a quarterback. And
You mentioned Ricky and Henderson. Who'd be a couple of other centers, maybe?
Well, Luke Jones, Bo Limmer. Bo Limmer is going to be another one. And then, of course, the younger guys, you got Street and Henderson. But I think the key is, and a lot of times you can only get to 3 of your 10 that can snap the ball and you go win a game. We lost Ty, and he had a lot of value because he could do so many things, including center. We just got to be really conscious about getting enough centers that are going to be traveling. So they've done a nice job about that. I really like Henderson going in at center. I think that's his spot.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Nate?
Yeah, Sam, just how important was Burks and the pros for spring ball to establish a go-to receiver?
I'm so sorry.
How important is it to establish a go-to receiver this spring?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to find one, Nate. At least one. You'd like to find more, but we had to find that Burks type guy, and I don't know if we can find him. Maybe we can find 2 that would be, but we have to, because we have to make KJ comfortable in who he has and this, that, and other. Certainly, we believe that it could be Hazelwood. He's basically playing the same position as what Burks played. very athletic, can do a lot of things that we asked Burks to do. Certainly not trying to compare him to Traylon Burks because it's not fair to him. But we believe that he can be that guy. And then, Warren's back. Keytron Jackson's looked super, bigger, stronger, mature. So, we'll hopefully we can be better at all of the positions, and that way we can replace some of those yards all the other two positions, so we can replace those yards that Burks had for us. Hard to replace Traylon Burks, man.
Excuse me, just what are you looking for out of the first two practices as far as kind of what you're expecting?
We've been two-spotting ever since I've been here. We just don't feel like we have enough at certain positions. Probably offensive line would be one of them, D-line probably the other one, possibly secondary, depending on what front we're running. But we want to secure the football. We want to run on off the field. We want to play hard. We want to establish what our program is about, and that's hard work. And we want to be crisp. We'll get the snaps, on offense, and throw the ball to the guys that we're supposed to throw the ball to. And on defense, we'll be air free, get some of our blitz package in, and go from there. They're allowing us to wear spiders now this year, and so hopefully we can get possibly a little bit more done in the first 2 days.
And then finally, Marco Avant showed up hurt last year. Is he able to do anything this spring?
Well, I tell you what, Nate, still been hurt. We're gonna put him out there on Sunday, and but he's still been beat up a little bit, whether it be a foot, a back, now a hamstring. We just got to get him healthy some way and stay healthy. But he'll be ready enough to go out there on Sunday, and let's see if he can stay healthy, and because his body looks good and he's smart. See if he can help us.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Otis.
Yeah, Sam, if Luke Jones is not your left tackle, or maybe if he is, can he be your Ty Clary that could play a lot of positions for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's smart, big. Yes.
Jalen St. John, you did mention him. Is he still in the mix somewhere, and where?
He's in the mix at left guard. Right now, he'd probably run out there as a 2 left guard. And I didn't mean not to mention him, but yeah, he's behind Brady right now on our depth chart, doing a good job. And he had the arm injury last year, and it's healed.
Yeah, how's the tight ends looking? What's there, Sam? And that's my last one.
Knox and Henry. Knox and Henry have done a really good job. And this is one I hadn't talked about. But Tyrus Washington is big. He's probably 200, close to 245. Worker, has good agility. So we're really excited about him. And of course, you have Nathan Bax coming back as well. So that group's bigger. They've played a lot of ball here. So hopefully we can use them more.
All right, let me know if you've got questions. Hutch?
Sam, I checked with Kyle, and he said you could talk about the Jordan Dominic, the transfer you just landed. I'm just wondering what you think he brings to the table for you guys.
Well, I hope some pass rushing ability. We still have 3 scholarships left, so we're not done yet. But we're excited to get him. He came in, he was 6'3", right at 247 when he came on campus. He can run. What he's done is, he's under recruited out of high school because he weighed about 210 coming out of high school, but he's really powerful with his hands. He can run. He plays really hard. I thought when I watched his tape that he fit in with us because he'll chase the ball and play extremely hard. I'd said, pass rusher, obviously, you'll have to play the game regardless whether they throw the ball or they run it. But I like him as an addition. as well as, as getting Landon Jackson at that position as well.
And you mentioned you have a couple of spots left. Do you kind of have an idea of how you want to use those spots?
Yeah, I know exactly how I'd like to use them. I'd like to sign a couple more D linemen and a wide receiver, and we'll see what happens. If somebody pops up in the portal that we just go, hey, we can't pass him up, then we would do that as well. But the plan is 2 D linemen and a wide out.
Player, wrap us up.
Coach, big picture. You guys have been down the totem pole. Nobody's seen you coming, and now it's not going to be like that. I saw a rating today, somebody's poll that picks y'all 6th in the country. Just how do you keep the mindset of your team to be working and have a chip on your shoulder, which is, I think, one of your strengths, the last year?
Well, no matter what people say about you, you still have to. Not everybody's going to say good about you, so you still have that chip to prove somebody wrong. And if nobody's talking bad about us, we'll just make it up and we'll go down there, because the bottom line is that's who we are. And we are a chip on the shoulder underdog from the head coach all the way down to the last player on the team, and we like it that way. And that's who we are. And so I don't know about that. I don't know who put the 6th in the country. Come on. But we're certainly going to strive to get that way. We have extreme confidence in our football team. We have a lot of kids coming back, got a quarterback back, our safety back, who we played over half a year without. So we should have a good football team. I find it hard to think that, as the season went on last year, that teams that played us were overlooking us. We'd beaten some pretty good teams and gotten in the top 10 in the country. So I'm pretty sure they figured out we had, a decent football team. So we'll see what happens. But I can promise you our team isn't going around patting themselves on the back. We got something to prove. Last year was last year. We got something to prove. We still have the people of Arkansas to make them proud of us. That's our number one goal, to make the people of the state of Arkansas proud of us. And, we know if we do that, then we're playing hard and we're winning games.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that wraps up. Thanks, Coach.